Rabbit, rabbit. That's for 30 days of good luck. 30 days has September, April, June. Yes, June 1st today. And when you say rabbit, rabbit, the first thing out of your mouth, not anything else, not hello kitties, hello honey, or move over honey, or get my pillow honey, or you keep waking me up honey. Rabbit, rabbit, 30 days of good luck. And aren't you glad you said it? Do you need good luck? Is your keto food plan not panning out the way that you had hoped it would? Well, I hope not. I hope that everything is good for you and that you are totally happy and content with how it's working for you, and that your goals and how you want to feel have come true, and that you were amazed that the busy brain that was always obsessed with food and other food addiction type thinking and behaviors is slowly fading away, and you can get on with the business of life. I was just reading a review of Patrick Melrose, and you have to have a pretty debauched mind to like it. So of course I loved it, because he's totally swirling down the drain, but all the while doing it with such clever British wit. And so somebody had mentioned to him or something that if he gave up alcohol and heroin, what would there be left? Would all the cynicism and I can't remember the other words he used, go away? And they said, tune in. And it's like, oh, I certainly hope not. He's just too delicious. It is a 5-part series, I guess, based on a novel by somebody. And the novel must be pretty wild, too. So, yes, I've been watching that. And if you're a recovering alcoholic, you'll find a lot of humor in it. So anyway, that's just an aside, but it's like, what's left if I'm content with my foods, if I'm satiated at the end of a meal or the end of the day? Oh goodness, what will happen to me? You mean there's life after obsession about food? Is there? Well, yeah, then you can get orthorexic, like somebody has accused me and other people that pay attention to everything that they eat. And it's okay. I don't mind being called that, because it's the way that I roll. And it's just what happens, I care about nutrition. I care about foods. I care about supplements. I care about lifestyle. And I definitely care about not inviting the behaviors that I had in my past. And I am telling you, it's kind of funny, because sometimes it's a crazy analogy, but it works for me. Sometimes you have met certain people in your life that never look at your face when they talk to you. They might be obsessed with their own thing, like a woman's chest, and all they do is stare there, so you never see them eye to eye. Well, that's me at a cookout with food on the table, right? Like those parties that you go to, and the cocktail hour for lubrication is really cocktail hours, and you wonder, will you ever turn the grill on? Please turn the grill on. I came here hungry. Now, I know that because of my food addiction, I expect to, when the party says it's like we went to one, I think it was a couple of years ago, I think I've told you the story, and we kept expecting them to begin the food, right? And I guess it's this big deal with this guy. He's a quirky and fun contractor that hires Greg for all of his, he's got this expanding compound, and he does these very quirky things. Like he just put in a fence that when you drive by it, it goes like this, and you almost feel seasick, And he said, that's the intention. And he's like, so anyway, it was this great big dinner. And I remember doing the video the day of it, and I was keto. And so I made a great big salad, even though they said don't bring anything, right? So I made it because it's a CYA move. CYA being cover your ass. And their cocktail hour was hours long. And it took so long to get to them to turn on the grill that we had to go. I was still working Sunday night. So at this point, it's like 3:45. And they still hadn't, like, served the dinner yet. It was like, are you kidding me? So so I was able to take part of the salad because that was already made, and come home and beef it up with some protein. But yeah, I never, at cookouts or other people's social events, my eyes never leave the table. It's like, first of all, I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. Over to the grill, it's like, when are they going to cook that? When are they going to cook that? When are they going to cook that? Over to here to, like, I'm so tired of watching people drink and eat crap off the table that's junk. When are they going to get full? And I never like look up and see that these are human beings with faces. That's my disease. That is my disease. And so anyway, once I started, doing keto, I can take care of myself. And if there's a party, I do have to assume there's going to be a 2-hour lubrication in the summer, because that's how people roll. It's a social thing where people drink and eat appetizers. And I learned early on in Overeaters Anonymous that I'm allergic to appetizers. There's no such thing as having a couple of appetizers on a little plate with a little drink and enjoying, like, even the scallop wrapped in bacon, which is keto friendly, but like, I'm going to have 20 of them and call it my meal. I'm not going to have 2 and then go a half hour and then maybe a cocktail weenie and then go an hour and then maybe a sausage off the grill and then wait for the chicken or the pork or the beef. No, I need to have the food on a plate, done, sitting. And if it's a social event that I don't have control over, it's not like I can pull out my knife, fork, and cloth napkin. So I go with the flow because I want to fit in, right? I want to look that normal. And I have my meal. And then I'm done. The plate, the fork, and the napkin get thrown away. The old Sarah would hold on to the fork, hold on to the napkin, because then came the next course, that one that comes after the dinner. And I wanted to be prepared for that. And that's not me anymore. That is an old behavior. So that's the luck and fortune of doing a keto under 20 food plan and being totally fat adapted. So my world is not rocked by thising and thatting. And today, if an invitation came in the mail for, next weekend or something like that, I would have a bulletproof coffee before I went. So then anything that, starts flowing through has nothing to do with hunger, because the fats should sustain me, and they would. If I was home, I'd be all set and fine. But because I'm at a social event, Ms. Slick says, it's time to eat. It's time to eat. We'll get something to eat. And I don't mean a Cheeto. So, yeah. And to expect that the start time of the party is 2 hours before the meal that you've been invited for, even if it's hamburgers and hot dogs. It's not happening. And it's so funny because at this particular event, because it was such a study in people watching, the little kids didn't care that they weren't eating until such and such, because, well, like I told you, he's kind of wealthy in an odd way, and like this wonderful provider. Like, he has a horse corral, he had dirt bikes, he had all kinds of those games that you play, like horseshoes and croquet and all that type of stuff. And the kids were so distracted. There were no cell phones being used by the kids playing games. They were, like, literally on these dirt bikes that he had trails for. And so they didn't care if it was time to eat. They were too excited to get control back of that bike, because even though he had like 4 or 5 of them, there were like 10 kids there. So they did have to share. Oh, imagine having to share a dirt bike. Can you imagine? So Anyway, the addict lives within me and comes out with me. I'm like, my addict is like that cute little woman with the red hair, and she's got on the flesh colored leotard with the organs here, and it's for some pill for your digestive system, and how she doesn't like she goes to the doctor's visit and she's sitting on the counter where the cotton balls are, and the doctor's telling her persona that she can have, this pill or this whatever it is and not have the distress. And this one's all upset because, well, that's her job. And so that's my addict, So, my addict comes with me, and my addict really wants, really wants to cause some trouble. But fortunately for me, when I began in OA in the 70s, 1970s, I learned that I don't eat standing up and I don't do appetizers. That those are the gateways for me: standing up, eating, and then appetizers. Those are not healthy for me. That is like that little appetizer right there on the toothpick that looks so innocent. That is like a drug addict, injecting heroin. It's like game on, and I can't do it. So fortunately for me, I've had, what is it, like 40 something years of getting used to saying no thank you when the tray comes around. And there's Greg saying, yeah, I'll have two here, Sarah, hold this plate. But that doesn't pull me at all, fortunately. It's just the weight that makes me turn into the 5-year-old, like, where is it? I want it now. So, and of course, we're ready to go when the party says it's starting, because I don't know, that's just the way we are. So that's the just what happens to me in my head at a social event, and how I'm working on it, and how I'm, lifting my head to actually talk to the person, make eye connection, and ferret out who they are and enjoy them for them, and not sit there and look at either the plate that they're holding or the table over there and the unstarted grill or the other things. When you're a food addict, you understand all this stuff. So don't you be shaking your head at me like, this woman in her bathrobe is crazy. And does she ever get dressed? Yes, I get dressed. And yes, every now and then I do a video when I'm dressed, just to show you that I do get dressed, and I am able to move around in the public and actually be passed off as just a regular older person and not some Lulu that you've just listened to for 12 minutes. So, rabbit, I hope you said it. It means it's a good month. Some people make goals. Some people go over their goals for the month before. Some people say, this is the month. It's June. And I've been fooling around with almost sorta doing a stricter version of keto, but it's just not happening for me. I forget to track. I never forget to weigh in 15 times a day, but I forget to track. And weighing and measuring, I'm too busy to do that. It's not going to work for me. And then you sit there and you say, well, why does the scale go up 2 pounds each week? I don't know. Gee, I don't know. There's no way to see because you're too busy. Well, you must have not been too busy to eat those 2 pounds, right? So think about that. Like, put some logic into your keto, knuckle down. This month is the month for you. Pull it together and get some contentment. Get some peace in your busy brain. I'm telling you, there's nothing else like it. Food can still be a delicious delight. You can look forward to what you're having, but it's not going to control you. It's that thing of like, are the food thoughts controlling you, or are you controlling you? I want to control me. I want to be satiated. I don't want to be in that place that I was at, where it's like the obsessive thinking. I don't want it. If you need help and you're one that could use a little boot camp or straightening out, ketocoachingsarah.com is where I offer packages of either phone calls or 30 days worth of emails to get you kind of tightened up, or a combo of both. So, ketocoachingsarah.com. Love to have you come on board for that. The rest of you, keep watching, keep enjoying your successes and posting them here. And I will see you the next time. Maybe not even in the bathrobe if it's warm enough. I'll be in a summer one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.